What's up, spoiler fam? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to talk about Hunter x Hunter characters that are capable of using the advanced application of N. This is probably one of the topics that we rarely talk about, so I figured to make one. Before that, make sure to like and subscribe so that you'll get notified for our upcoming videos. We will start the list from the smallest to the widest range of N and how they use it. Number 10. Killua Zoldyck. Killua is a child prodigy and he displayed his extraordinary talent by overcoming his shortcomings many times in the series. In the Chimera arc, Killua is still a juvenile when it comes to Nen mastery, and he does not have the skills required to expand his aura and use N, let alone maintain it for a long time. Having no clue as to where to find the sniper, Killua was quick on his feet to decide to keep his aura within the range he can best manage. This was done so that the moment any projectile that enters within his range, which is approximately 57 centimeters, he can then analyze the trajectory of the bullet in order to pinpoint the location of the sniper. His smart thinking compensated his lack of Nen mastery, and his application of N here is merely to recognize the angle of any projectile that enters his N. Killua's 57 centimeters N combined with his superhuman reflex have been a huge threat to the Chimera Ants. Number 9. Nobunaga Hazama. Nobunaga's N have a span of 4 meters. Now, I would like to point out that the range of one's N does not define his overall combat prowess, but I would say that the range of one's N is an indication of a strong opponent and his mastery of Nen applications. Masters of N have a span of 50 meters, which is to say, Nobunaga is nowhere near their level when it comes to N mastery. He admitted that 4 meters is his limit, and he said in the manga that this is more than enough. This limitation works in his favor as it complements his Ayaido or Sudachi, which is his range as a samurai. There are Nen users like Killua Nobunaga whose N is more likely to conform to the range that best works for them. It's just that N masters are in a whole different level. Nobunaga uses his N to identify and detect everything that enters his N, including objects. He can detect enemies even if they are using Zetsu. Step within his range and his sword will swing at you. Number 8. Leorio Paladinite. The only time Leorio's ability was shown in the series was during the election arc. He somewhat developed a wormhole strike type ability over the years. This ability allows him to create Nen portals on surfaces within his range. Now the reason why I am including Leorio in the list in the latest chapters, spoilers warning to those folks who are not caught up in the manga, while doing so, Jing inferred that Leorio's ability was the result of a trial and error when he was practicing palpating patients. Leorio spreads his aura like ultrasound to detect blood clots and tumors that are impossible to reach through surgery. Anytime a Nen user tries to locate someone or an object using aura, they are using N. And N comes in various shapes and sizes, and Leorio's N is probably looks like a ripple effect, just like in Jing's mimicry. Jing was even impressed by his aura because it is so refined and subtle that it is even harder to detect than the normal N. And on to number 7. Kinney, Babimaina, and Hinrai. I'm sure there are more hunters who can use N, but we just don't have much information about them. So let's start with Kinney. Kinney is a capable hunter and pianist. He has a radius of 12 meters and can only maintain it for a short period of time because of his old age. His N accuracy is average as he was unable to determine the entity that registered in his N. What he does know is that it was someone popping out of a manhole cover. Melody and Kinney deduced that it was probably Prince Fuigetsu since Prince Kachu tried to act normal despite the fact. Kinney is a loyal bodyguard for Prince Kachu and even committed suicide to help the princess escape. Babimaina is a royal soldier of First Prince Benjamin. His N can cover the entire room of 1014. The average size of a room in a cruise is 150 feet or around 45 meters, so to speak. So his N is probably around 45 meters or shorter. Bobby minus N have the same function as any regular N, however, his accuracy is average as he was not able to discern what Queen Oito was writing. He later then stopped his N in consideration of the Queen's feelings. Hinrai. We have no information how wide his N, but we can infer that it's not as wide as Kite's, so it's definitely below 45 meters. The application of Hinrai's N here is just to detect who are Nen users among the crowd. Hinrai's ability is flexible, and seeing how he can conjure animals remotely means his N is quite good. Number 6. Kaito. I wish we could have seen more of Kite during the Chimera arc. I guess he was just unlucky that out of all ants he would have to fight, it was the Royal Guard Pitou. Anyway, as we know, Kite's N has a radius of 45 meters, so he is a little bit short for the standard N to be called an N Master. But given how he was able to maintain it for so long, I guess we could say that he is in the same caliber, or even greater. His N is so subtle that even Killua and Gon did not know that he is using N until he brought it up. It was only Pitou who noticed his N from afar. Number 5. Zeno Zoldyck. Zeno is definitely one of the strongest characters revealed so far in the series. During the York New auction, Zeno used his N to search for Chrollo, who was in hiding. Zeno complained that using N is so taxing to the body, but he has no choice but to do so to find Chrollo. His N has a radius of 100 meters, so Silva have asked him if he can maintain it for so long, and Zeno retorted that he could even go up to 300 meters if he was really up for it. Number 4. Shayapuf. Shayapuf is the calmest among the 3 royal guards. However, because of his loyalty towards the king, his decision became clouded and even went to the extreme to separate Komugi from King Meruem. Shayapuf was forced to use his N when the king endangered himself by amputating his arm in front of Komugi. He advised Pitou to heal the king while he takes out the guarding duty while Pitou is unable to use his N. Shayapuf admitted that his N is not as effective as Pitou's, but he cannot entrust his duty to regular Ns. His N have the same function as any regular Nen user, however, Shayapuf's N have the most sinister aura that any Nen user within his range can even tell the state of his mind. His N reaches no farther than the central stairway to the second floor. We have no specific data, but guessing how big the palace is, we can guess that it is at least bigger than Zeno's N. Number 3. Cortopi. There is little to know about Cortopi other than him being part of the spiders. Cortopi can conjure anything out of anything he touches. When Chrollo figured out that the Corta survivor works for a Nostrade family, he asked Cortopi if he remembers making a duplicate of the Corta eyeballs. Chrollo said his copies function as N, and Cortopi said he remembered copying it, and he can activate his N if he can touch the original copy. Cortopi's N is so unique that he is able to sense his conjured object using N 2,500 meters away. And there is also probably no distance restriction for his N. The object can be like thousands of miles, and he could still probably trace it. However, it has a time limit and his N goes away after a few hours. What is interesting is that Cortopi is able to sense the movement, angle, and direction of his N copy, but not the person holding the item. Number 2. Pitou. Chimera Ants really set the bar high, but Pitou's entrance definitely changed the tone of Hunter x Hunter. Number 2 on our list is Pitou. Pitou is by far the strongest royal guard, and the shape of his N has an amoeba-like structure. It is so wide that it can literally cover thousands of meters in mere seconds. The range of his N goes to 2 kilometers. The difference of his N to Cortopi's is that Cortopi can only trace his N copy. while P2 can cover the length and width of the entire 2-kilometer radius. And it is the first time in the anime where we got the chills just by seeing how wide his N is. P2 also have a sixth sense and is very nimble. The moment someone registers in his N, he can travel a great distance in seconds by enhancing his muscles and propelling himself towards his prey. Netero even have to hire Zeno just so that they could do a surprise attack from the sky to avoid detection from P2's N. They did not, however, escape P2's animal instincts. And on to number 1, King Meruem. Meruem is so broken that Netero had to resort to using Rose just to take him out. After his revival, Meruem became so strong that it is impossible to defeat him, and it would take the whole army of Hunter organization to take him out. When Meruem used his N for the first time, Palm, Knuckle, Melioran, and Ikalgo finally realized the extent of his power. His N is so strong that even Knuckle had to abort his mission and had the urgency to report this to the association. Meruem's N can trace footsteps, objects, and he can even read minds the moment someone registers from his N. This is by far the most broken use of N in the series so far. Shia-Pup's spiritual message did help advance his application of N, but the overall strength Meruem possesses is beyond anything our human minds can comprehend. So this is our top 10 N users in Hunter x Hunter. I'm sure we are bound to see stronger characters and probably more deadlier N moving forward in the Dark Continent. So do you think that I have covered every N users revealed in the series? Or are there any N users I forgot to mention? Comment down below your favorite characters that can use N so we can rank them. This is it for now, and I will see you next time.